Hey, this is Pete, or Kenshin1913.
And Rob, or your new stepdad.
Nice.
Nice.
You're upgrading every time. It's your new dad, your new stepdad. Like, you're upgrading because it's less responsibility for you. You know?
Oh, yeah, no, I don't want to take care of you. I just
yeah.
want to fuck your mom.
Your new uncle, your new whatever. Anyways, this is another Game of Thrones review, episode 24, or season 3, episode 4. And the title of this episode is "Now His Watch Has Ended."
Foreboding words.
Yeah, it is. It's kind of sad a little bit. Some stuff's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's do the review. So we start off with Jaime, and you get the scene with his friggin' hand right here.
All bouncing around.
Yeah, and he's devastated. And
Oh
he
yeah.
kind of falls off his horse, grabs the sword, tries to fight it out.
Yeah.
Can't do that. Wants some water.
Fuck with him a little bit.
Yeah, I love it.
Horse piss. Yeah.
Make him drink.
It was a
horse
good
piss.
scene. It was
It was a good scene because it was like they showed.
his desperation.
Yeah.
And just like utter oh my god.
Yeah, this is totally fucked up.
Yeah.
And then Brienne kind of tries to help him, but she doesn't she isn't really able to help him.
But,
And it's a good scene because like it just shows how powerless he is now that he's lost his hand. And
yeah, he feels like he's nothing.
yeah, it's a good scene. And then we head over to Tyrion, who's talking with Varys.
Yes.
Now Varys is opening up something quite
Something he
peculiar.
got from Westeros FedEx.
Yeah, Westeros FedEx. I like that. Anyways, he's opening it up, and he's Tyrion's like, you know what? I need some help, Varys. I need.
Yeah. He's looking for some vengeance.
Yeah, he's looking to find
He's looking
out
for revenge.
who killed him or who was trying to kill him, and he wants to kill that person.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Varys is like, I could help you out, but you need, your influence.
He needs
is
this.
big.
He kind of weaves this little story. Of his
Yeah.
own.
Yeah.
He tells the story, and we get to learn how he got cut.
Yeah, how he became a eunuch.
And
which was a
there
good
was some
story.
magicness in it, and that freaked him the fuck out.
Yeah, and that's why
And
Varys hates magic.
Hates fucking
Hates magic people. So
he's like Superman. He hates magic.
yeah, I didn't know Superman hated magic.
Yeah.
I've always thought he hated Krypton
But
or Kryptonite or
that
whatever.
too.
Yeah, but so Varys kind of talks about how his balls were cut and put in a fire.
Wang too.
Huh?
Wang too.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah. Twig and berries, both gone.
Oh, I thought only his balls, but
no,
all right.
they did both, root and stem and all.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
root and stem.
Yeah.
Anyways, they cut all that off. They threw it in
Oh.
the fire.
Yeah.
It burned blue, and then there was some creep ass voice, and he's hated that ever since. And he's had
Doesn't like
nightmares.
magic.
So in the package, Rob, what was in the package?
The dude who cut his balls off.
Yeah, the guy who cut off his balls.
Yes. They're like showing Tyrion, if you wait long enough,
You can get your
you
revenge.
get your revenge.
So it will come in due time, is kind of like what he tells him.
Mhm.
And then he closes the little box on him.
Yes.
And then we head over to Craster's Keep, where Gren and Ed are kind of bitching. But, I mean, I'd be bitching too. They just keep talking about, the Night's Watch. They said there's supposed to be all kinds of glory. You're protecting the realm, and here we are just shoveling shit all the time. There's
We're always shoveling.
yeah, and then the pig shits, and then Ed's like, there's more shit. and then one of the
It's an
guys,
excuse to kind of give Ed more funny lines.
yeah. Ed's a downer, but he's like a funny
Humorous downer.
Yeah. He's always got some pretty hilarious.
It can
lines.
be worse kind of guy. Yeah.
Yeah. And so what ends up happening is one of the guys, Rast, he's kind of telling him like, man, Craster's got all this, he's got to have some fucking food and shit. Like we gotta fend for ourselves because Mormont.
More dissension in the ranks. People are not now blindly following Mormont, believing him.
Yeah.
People are starting to question things.
Yeah, because there's not as many people anymore.
They've seen some bad shit.
Yeah, they've seen some fucked up shit.
They survived some chaos.
They're fucking starving.
Yeah.
It's just craziness. So they're kind of more dissension in the ranks.
Mhm.
And so Sam goes to see Gilly, and he kind of tries to be like friendly with her, but all she really gives a shit about is the baby, and
'Cause she knows what's in
rightfully
store
so.
for
Yeah,
her.
rightfully so. It's a boy, and it's gonna be killed in a few days
it
by
is.
Craster, whenever. And she's like,
Or
I
he decided
just
to leave it out as a picnic basket.
Yeah.
Yogi Bear looking fucking White Walker.
yeah. So she's like, all I give a shit about is this baby, and because he's like, did you name it yet? And she's like, why would I do that? Why would I do that? And then she tries to give him back. She tries to give him back his little thing, and he says, and I don't think he took it, but whatever.
It doesn't matter. But
yeah, it doesn't really matter. So we go to Bran, who is having another dream because he's
He tells
running
us walking
around. Yeah, he's running and he sees
climbing. Classic Bran.
the three-eyed
Climbing.
crow climbs up the tree as
Yeah,
Jojen
I
tells
like
him
that.
to.
That was nice.
And then Caitlin comes out of nowhere and just tells him, I thought I told you not to climb. I
Yeah.
thought I told you not to climb.
I really enjoy these vivid dreams of Bran because
Mhm.
it brings back other characters.
Yeah, I like that they have
Because all the Starks are kind of been spread out, and they almost like besides Robb and Caitlin, since season 1, they've almost none of them ever talked to each other.
No.
Ever.
No.
I mean, Bran and Rickon, but you
Yeah.
know, Rickon's not really a real character yet. He's still a little kid.
Yeah.
And you know, Robb and Caitlin a little bit in late season 2, early season 3.
Mm-hmm.
But Jon Snow somewhere, Sansa and Arya, and poor Ned Carlos.
Yeah.
But it's a cool way to show some of to really hammer home the fact that these people are family, even though we almost never get to see them be family.
No,
They
only
are
that
family.
one episode. In the
Like,
very
exactly, the first episode ever, and then
Yeah.
half the family goes down south.
Yeah, tons of terrible
So-
things happen to this poor family.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And it was kind of so. Yeah, I liked the scene too. Because it was like, oh look, you kind of see like a little interaction
Mm-hmm.
between those two. But eventually, Caitlin just pushes him off, and he falls off the tree just like he fell,
Off the tower.
or just like he got
He
pushed off of the tower.
Yeah.
And then he wakes up and he's like, oh my god. And then Jojen just kind of like,
Yeah.
and then he looks down or whatever. And
Yeah.
then
I'm sure they discuss his dreams and try to figure out what.
Yeah. I'm sure
That's
because
what
they're
they're
both because. In case you didn't know, Bran is also what Jojen is, a green
Right.
seer or whatever, and he can warg. He can go into animals and whatnot.
Right.
So he's like the best of both worlds, which is pretty cool.
A little bit.
So we head over to Varys, who's talking with Roz, and I like this scene a little bit.
Like this was maybe Varys' episode.
Yeah, this was a Varys heavy episode.
Despite maybe even the 2 biggest scenes not involving him, he's in 3 scenes
Mhm.
that are all kind of excellent.
Yeah, Conleth Hill, excellent job this time.
Well done.
And so he's talking with Roz. They're kind of talking about Podrick
Yeah,
Payne.
keep that joke going.
Yeah, about how he was just
Little pause. Apparently, he knows how to lead a pipe.
Yeah, he can lay the pipe right.
That's what he does.
And so they're just talking about Littlefinger a little bit, like
more on
because she's a spy.
because she's
for Varys.
essentially now one of Varys' spies on Littlefinger specifically.
Mm-hmm. And she gives him a paper that she can read now, or she always could read. I don't know. And he's reading it, and he's like, "Oh, what's the point with this?
Yeah.
You're gonna tell me?" She's like,
He's gonna steal away Sansa.
"Yeah, he's got 2 beds,
Yes.
and he's gonna take somebody." And they're thinking that he's gonna take Sansa, which might happen. Who knows? And so they're just
Sansa's almost like being used as a pawn at this point.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Big time pawn. She's like, who are we gonna lay the Starks with? Because people are like, if Robb doesn't
The
win,
Starks have been around forever.
yeah, and if Robb doesn't win this rebellion,
Sansa's the last Stark left.
Sansa's the last Stark left. If whoever she marries would be, Warden of the
Essentially,
North,
yeah. Yep.
which is kind of a big power
It's kind of a big deal.
for any house, really.
Yeah.
Because the Starks are like a very highly, what's the word I'm looking for? Like honored people.
Yeah.
Honor their highly valuable family.
The North is also the largest land of Westeros.
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
So they control a lot of people,
Yeah.
and with a lot of people comes a lot of taxes, things like that.
Yeah. A lot of people and stuff. And so we head over to the sept, or the main sept, where Joffrey is showing Marjorie around.
Gleefully showing Marjorie
like
all
a
the torture.
like a fucking
that kid is
sociopath.
like if he doesn't eat kittens, I'd be shocked.
Yeah, he's like a fucking creepy
He's a fucking creep.
sociopath. He's like, hey, here's where they were burned.
He's awesome.
Yeah.
He's a fucking creep. That kid gets like an award. He needs one.
And you know what? I gotta give Marjorie credit for just dealing with this bullshit. Like,
Oh my God,
my
yeah.
god! Like, she's gotta have the fucking patience of a saint,
Yeah.
just to like listen. When they burn, she's like, oh,
That's
God.
very
Oh,
interesting.
That's great. That's super great.
Yeah.
And so they're walking around looking at all the dead Targaryens, and Olenna and Cersei are kind of talking
Mm-hmm.
about their sons and how you try not to lead them. A lot of information about this man named Mace Tyrell comes. I'm sure we might see him next season.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of information comes about him, like how he's not very good at battling and all this. And then they kind of talk about how their
Both of
sons...
them, how women are not given as much to do.
Yeah, and
Less
Olenna
power.
was like, I wish that wasn't true.
Yeah.
She's like, that's bullshit. And I was
Yeah.
like, you know what? That's what I love about... I like this little scene, because Cersei... At one point, Cersei kind of looks at her like,
She gets me a little bit.
she's kind of like me a little bit, because she's always like protecting her sons and doing anything for them and whatnot. It's kind of neat. So we head over to the next scene where it's Boy and Theon, and they're going through the woods, and Theon's kind of talking to him about, his, how did, all the information, like how did you know where I was? Is Yara waiting for me? This, that, and the other. And the boy kind of tells a story, his story about how he was one of the Ironborn guys, and he saw him leave, and this, that, and the other.
I enjoyed this scene.
Yeah. I liked it
pretty
too.
much because of Alfie Allen.
Yeah. He did it.
The other guy is doing fine, but he's kind of playing a storytelling character. Like, he's just there to have Alfie talk to.
Yeah.
And Theon in this episode,
as they're heading back into a castle where Yara is supposed to be. Yeah. He's kind of telling them about the regrets that he has.
Yeah, a lot of regrets. He's done some soul searching. He kind of feels like a piece of shit.
Yeah, and I wonder if torturing does that to a person. I'm sure it does.
I don't know, maybe.
Torturing will do that to a person where you're like, oh god, I wish I didn't.
See, I think a lot of these feelings have been brewing in Alfie since Theon since the beginning. Though,
yeah. And since he signed that since he took that letter, like, dear Rob, I'm sorry that I failed you.
Back,
I'm not coming back. It's been a pleasure, and then he just burns it and says, "Fucking, I'm Ironborn." And there's a nice little, like we said, a lot of regret Theon's having right now. He's like, oh man, I should have never fucking done what I did. This is fucked up. And
he'd rather still be fighting by Rob's side.
Yeah. And one of the lines he says is, "I paid the iron price for Winterfell."
Yeah.
Meaning not only did he lose his friends that he had when he was with the Starks, but he kind of lost his friends that he was gaining as Ironborn because they're like, why the fuck are we going to hold this? And then they all end up dying. And so what ends up happening is they get into this castle, and the boy lights up a torch, which I thought was really awesome, this whole little part. And he lights up a torch, and it just lights to the X thing that Theon was already at. And he's like, oh, look. I caught him. He came back, and he's like, he killed the men. And he's like, oh, I didn't. And basically, the boy fucking tricked him.
Yeah.
And that really leads to.
But why?
But why? Yeah, that's a good question. Why? But it leads to a couple of theories that I'm sure people have if you've read the books. But I mean, some people who haven't might not know.
Well, everybody probably has their own theories.
Yeah.
Books or not, but
Yeah. So then
that's weird.
It was kind of weird, and it was just like for some reason I feel like that's happened in the movie or something where they've gotten a prisoner out only to trick him to go back to where the hell he was.
Yeah.
It sounds familiar, but
let us know, geeks.
Yeah. Anyways, then we go to Brienne, and she's kind of talking with Jaime, which was a great part with her.
Yeah.
Like one of her first, like, you know what, she just basically tells Jaime to man up.
Yeah, she does.
Because she's like, he doesn't want to eat, and he's like, I don't want to eat.
He's really emo in this scene.
Yes, very emo.
Really
Brienne's like, you're acting like a fucking woman.
Yeah.
She's like,
don't be a bitch.
Yeah, she's like, well, one bad thing happened to you, and now you're fucking.
Your entire life, one shitty thing happened.
Yeah, and
give up.
Yeah, and and so she's like, and then Jaime's like eating, and then Brienne.
She kind of gives him a kick in the ass.
Yeah, and then Brienne just kind of says, "Why'd you save my life? You said Tarth was full of sapphires, and it's really called that because the water or whatever around there is so blue or some shit, or it looks like sapphires."
She didn't really say thank you though.
No, she didn't really thank him, but she did say she just questioned why did you save me, which is fine.
Mm-hmm.
Then we head over to King's Landing. Tywin and Cersei, and they're yapping.
Charles Dance says more with
nothing, not saying a thing, just looks or silence.
Yeah,
like just blank silence and just.
And in this cast with so many good fucking actors,
yeah,
he is ridiculous.
He's fucking amazing. He really amazing. Is. Like I'm glad that they got him because I can't picture anyone else as Tywin.
Yeah, not even close.
And so they're talking. Cersei's kind of talking about like. You know, what plans you got for again, Jaime?
She wants to be one of his insiders.
Yeah, and she kind of says that she's probably better than the other two. Yeah. As you're like, you're trusting. Shit. Yeah. She's like, you're trusting them, but you should be trusting me more. I was the person who was listening to you,
showing her
the whole time,
for lack of a better word, feminist side that they discuss with their Queen of the Thorns about how there's no women in charge of anything. She's like, I can contribute, I can help.
Yeah, and
so, I love the fact that when she pleads, she's like, no, I can help contribute to this.
And then he's like,
and he simply says, fine. Contribute.
Yeah, he's like, what do you have to contribute? And she just kind of like.
Then she's like, I don't like the Tyrells. And he's like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, he's like, yeah. And then
I love the way he browbeats his children.
He's like.
Because he's an asshole about it.
Yeah.
But he's kind of honest about it, too.
Yeah.
Tyrion, all you do is lay around with whores and spend my money, dickface.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of right.
Yeah.
Seriously, when he just fucking I don't trust you because you're a woman.
Yeah, he's like,
because you're not nearly as clever as you think you are.
Yes, that was a
great line.
That was a great line.
Because since King Robert has died, she hasn't ever really gotten her put in her place.
Yeah, no, and So Tywin is kind of telling Cersei, why don't you get your child, rein your kid in? And then she's kind of like, why don't you rein him in? It's hard. Being a mom's hard, and especially this little shit. And so he's like, I'll get him in line.
Mm-hmm. So I'm interested to see how it ends up.
Yeah, I wonder.
Because he's never really had any one-on-one time with Joffrey.
No, he hasn't. He hasn't kind of yacked with him. It would be, that scene would be pretty nice. Wouldn't it be just great if he just went and he just, like Tywin's, I don't think Tywin's the kind of guy who would just bitch slap people.
No, he verbally bitch slaps.
Oh, yeah. He just go in there.
He makes you.
He would scare
between this issue and then the good long one-on-one with Tyrion in the previous episode.
Mm-hmm.
Both his children end up leaving like they got spanked.
Yeah.
But he never touched them.
No. Okay, yeah. I think Joffrey is just too thick to like have.
No, Joffrey, you might actually have to literally pull down his breeches and spank.
Yeah. But so they have a talk there. And then Olenna, this is a great part. I just fucking
wonderful scene.
I just love it because the one girl, she's doing her thing. Look, I made you a flower, and she's growing flower. That strikes fear into the foe's heart. Growing strong.
Her own family and everything.
Yeah. I loved it. And she's like, now winter is coming. We do not sow. Direwolves and Krakens, now those are fucking sigils.
Yeah.
We got a fucking flower.
Yeah.
I got a pretty little flower. So Varys comes by and she's like, you can go away, grow strong.
Yeah.
So then she was busting Varys' chops about
these two talking was like great. A fencing match.
Yeah.
Like the jabs they throw at each other and at other people. Just hilarious.
Yeah, and she said something about like, is this how you seduce all the women?
Yeah.
And she's like,
she makes the joke about what would happen when the non-existent bumps against the decrepit.
Oh my God. Was great. That was fucking great.
She's like the Phyllis Diller of Westeros. It's amazing.
Yeah, I could see that. I could fucking see her in that. Or no.
Sanford
and Son. Well, or Varys, they could be like, because then they go walking and they're kind of talking about the fate of Sansa. Right. A lot of people, for some reason, are interested. Well, we discussed why. Yeah. A lot of people are interested in her.
Yeah.
And Varys kind of talks about Littlefinger, how he's going to try to take her away. The Starks, their head, their influential house, and this, that, and the other. And the thing is, too,
Littlefinger's quest for all these things.
Yeah, I like the fact that Olenna Tyrell says, "Oh, Eddard Stark, he was an influential guy, but you didn't see any of his dudes come running up."
No, yeah.
When he was about to get his fucking head chopped off. Yeah. And I was like, "Oh, burn!" And so they kind of decide. Why don't you help? And then Varys is kind of talking. Why don't you try to help? Get her out of here. And she's like, interesting. So, of course, next scene, Sansa's praying at wherever, outside in the, probably near the Godwood or whatever, because there's supposed to be a Godwoods in King's Landing.
Right.
But anyways, she's praying, and Marjorie comes by, and she's talking.
Who's amazing, too.
Yeah, she's really good.
Amazing, too.
She's really good, because she plays this part really well in the fact that, she is in a veil of kindness.
She is.
And niceness.
But there might be something bad underneath.
Yeah, it might still be nice underneath.
Yeah.
But
or realistic.
Yeah.
But there's something underneath.
Yeah, there's definitely something underneath. So she does this great little threat to these soldiers with oh, can you please leave? And they're like, and then she's like, I'll tell the king.
Well, yeah, I'm just gonna tell him that.
And then they fucking book him. So they're having a little girl talk about praying and who you pray to and all this, and Sansa
trading stories. And
Sansa's kind of trying to be secretive, which I can understand because she doesn't know who to trust.
She's praying for Joffrey to die.
Yeah, and for Littlefinger to get her the fuck out of there. So Marjorie's kind of telling her the story about whatever.
Pretty much just to kind of, it feels like it's a way to gain her trust.
Yes. And so they get down to the bottom of wherever the hell they are. the beach or whatever, and they're talking, and she's like, "Wouldn't it be great if you came to see Highgarden?"
Mm-hmm.
And Sansa's like, "Well,
She's selling it.
Yeah. And she's like, "I'd never be able to leave because the Queen wouldn't let me.
Mm-hmm.
The Queen Regent wouldn't let me."
And Marjorie's like, "Well,
I'm gonna be queen. I'm gonna be the queen.
Then I can do
After
whatever
I
I
marry
want.
Joffrey, and then I can do whatever I want, and you can go to Highgarden.
Maybe you marry that guy you got a little girl
maybe
boner
even
for.
marry my brother, Loras.
She got
And then
quite
we
the-
could be sisters. Oh my god!
And then I'll jump up and down and went,
Yeah,
and
and
then
then-
minutes straight.
Yeah, and then Sansa would be, yay! I got the man,
Yeah.
cute guy.
She looked very happy.
Yeah,
Yes.
and so she wants to help out Sansa, which is kind of nice. But
Very nice.
you can tell, like from the other scene, that Olenna.
It might be double-edged.
Yeah,
A,
Olenna.
helping her out, and B, getting her away from Littlefinger, too.
Yeah. Olenna totally sent Marjorie, but that's fine. I mean,
Yeah.
would that be better for her anyways, right?
Probably.
So we head back up to Craster's Keep, where Mormont is burning a ranger, and I like the part where he's
The
like,
little funeral.
yeah, I like the part where he's like, "Oh, this guy was a good guy from where's
Where's he from?
and then they just go on, and he's like, "We'll never see their like again," and then they all say, "Now his watch is ended," which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
And so, Mormont goes into Craster's. Well, actually, while Mormont leaves, the knights are talking about like the food. Like they're seriously getting delirious about the grub. Like he's like, how is Craster gonna live through the thing? He must be hiding all these wine and
he's got stores of food somewhere.
fucking somewhere. How could he fucking? And so they're like,
Nuts or
goddamn.
dried fruit, whatever, something that's gonna last. Yeah.
And so we have Mormont in there. He's writing a letter, and Craster said, blah blah blah. I got a lot of kids. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah. Craster's always needling more.
And he like for some reason just gotta fucking tell him I don't know, he just gotta one up him a little bit. Like I got 99 boys. How many you got? You got one? I got all these wives and shit.
That's your friend who bought the 2008 car.
Yeah.
You know,
he's like the guy who
he bought the 121 because he bought the 120.
Yeah, he's like the guy who has like the first iPod or whatever. He's like, this fucking iPod. What do you got? Zoom? Fuck you. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's kind of like a one-upper. So, what the fuck happens? Like, someone comes in and
the guys kind of start
having a little argument. Oh, Craster's like, oh, just leave because he wants him out of there. He's like, leave your week there. And, and just leave. And he's like, I'll finish him off. And then the one guy's like, who are you going to finish off?
Yeah.
How are you going to finish us off? And then he's like, said, you could go out there and eat the snow because they start bitching about food and stuff because we're like starving. And it's a tense scene that rises. A very tense scene to where he just
grabs one of the guys, drags him outside to kind of give him a verbal lashing.
And Craster gets up with his axe because one of the guys calls him a bastard. He's like, someone call me bastard again, and I'm going to personally, kill
your hand or something.
Yeah. And so the one guy,
this guy doesn't have a lot of lines. I don't remember him from any episode ever before. But he nailed this scene.
But he's like, any of you assholes call me bastard again, you're gonna get your hand chopped off. And he got silence.
Yeah, nobody said anything for a minute.
Boom!
Just as he dropped it, as soon as Craster dropped his guard, like that's what I thought.
Yeah.
And somebody goes, "You're a fucking bastard."
Yes.
Oh, it's great.
And then basically all hell breaks loose.
Yeah.
Craster comes at him, and that one guy stabs him in the
knife right through the fucking bottom of the mouth. Brilliant.
Knife right through the neck, and then Mormont's like, that's against the law. He's like, that's against the law. And then the guy's like, there's no law up here. And Mormont's trying to get the knights back, and then Rast just comes up from behind him and stabs him
in the back.
Right in the back. And then fucking Mormont, excellent fucking thing. He just fucking grabs him by the neck, and like, with a face, I swear to God, that face
could eat the sun.
Yeah. Oh my God. He's like, he just has this guy holding, and Sam is running away, and there's all the Knights Watchers.
A giant brouhaha brings up.
Yeah, the Knights Watchers just fucking fighting each other, and then Mormont just spits out blood, right?
Collapses.
And he just lets go of the guy, collapses, and then Rast fucking stabs him to death.
Keeps her in the chest.
Which kind of sucks because it's like,
Mormont's dead.
Mormont's dead. But then we have Sammy running into the Gilly's room.
Gilly, they bolt,
and then Rast, he has a good
line, where he's like, "Run, piggy! I fucking slit your throat one of these nights."
Yeah. It was
delivered really well. So it's just chaos.
Yeah, so that's like a huge event because the fucking commander is dead. Night's Watch are basically,
or they took the majority of their good fighters.
Yeah.
Half of those guys died.
Yeah.
Now the last half are all fighting amongst each other.
Yeah.
Best case scenario, an eighth survive.
Yeah.
And is it going to be They're gonna stay up there and just live off Craster's women, or are they gonna?
Well, yeah. Now
Who
the Night's
knows?
Watch are very
It's
crippled.
broken. Yeah.
Plus, I mean, no commander. The commander, I mean, Mormont was apparently he was a good commander beforehand. It's just he took a big risk in going past the wall to try to find what was going on. Which, I mean, good move, but again, risky.
Yeah.
So then we head over to Thoros of Myr with Arya and Gendry,
those guys.
and they're heading to the hideout, and they bring them in the hideout with the Hound, and they meet the only new character of the episode, Beedrick Dondarrion, who's played by Richard Dormer. And
Beedrick or Beric?
Beric. I always put the D in there.
You do. I'm not sure why.
Beric Dondarrion.
Yeah.
Anyways, he's played by Richard Dormer, and they're
He's kind of fucked up looking.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's got an eye patch.
He's got an eye patch. He looks
like he's been fucking fucked up. I don't know if you can tell if he's got a lot of scars because he's got a lot of dirt on his face.
Yeah.
And
world weary. He looks.
Yeah.
Too. He always he looks like every step hurt a little bit.
Yeah. So this is where they explain the Brotherhood without borders. If you want to explain, Rob. Oh, Brotherhood without banners.
Yeah, essentially, they're not fighting for anybody.
Yeah.
They're fighting for the little people that get trampled on when big people fight.
Used to be fighting for Ned Stark
and
Robert Baratheon.
Kill the Mountain.
Yeah, kill the Mountain, and they're not going to stop until they do. Eventually, maybe they will. Who knows? So,
but all in all, they're kind of like, imagine Robin Hood as Merry Men.
Yeah.
They're kind of looking out for the small folk.
Mm-hmm. And they're kind of explaining to the Hound there, because they want to try him for something because... they're talking about, his House Clegane, and all this shit that they've done, and all these people they killed.
Throw a lot of shit at him, and he keeps going back to him.
Yeah,
it wasn't me.
Yeah, I wasn't there. That was my bro.
Yeah.
I was never there when they killed the Targaryen babes, this, that, and the other.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got a fucking great line. He's like, "If you want to cut my throat, get on with it. But don't call me a murderer and pretend you're not." And then Arya is just like, "You are a murderer," and she's like, and he's like, "Why?" Because you killed my friend Micah. So then that finally was the scene or the point where they could be like, you know what, we can try this guy. And basically, Beric Dondarrion is going to fight the Hound, which is pretty cool.
It's something they do in Westeros. They trial by
combat, just like with Tyrion and with Bronn
and the Vale.
Vargas Egan. Anyways, one thing I liked about that scene was when they took the Hound's mask off, he saw this giant fire and he fucking backed off. That was good. Because he is afraid of fire, if you remember. Yeah. So then we head to the final scene of the episode. Dany, she's going to buy the Unsullied. She has her dragon in tow.
One dragon.
And she gives it over to...
8,000 plus soldiers for one dragon. It's a pretty good deal, I think.
I think so. And she gives it over to Cransney, or whatever.
The slave guy.
And he's holding it, and he's like, tell this,
And I love how she double checks.
Yeah, she's like, are these guys mine?
She's like, all right, so the deal's done, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, the deal's done.
I own these guys, right?
Yeah.
All right.
And then...
kill all these motherfuckers!
Yeah, because she's like, test them. Like, step forward, and they all march forward. She's like, okay, this is gonna fucking work. And then he said something about, tell this bitch that this dragon won't think. And then she just busts out with High Valyrian, and he's like, "Holy shit, she can speak it!"
Yeah.
and then she's like, "Yeah, my
and
mother was
badass the rest of the scene.
Oh yeah. So she just screams like, "Unsullied, kill all these all these slave masters, and everything."
Awesome.
So all the Unsullied just fucking stab the fuck out of all these other guys, and
she tells them free the slaves.
And then all of a sudden she looks over. She looks over to the slave guy Cransney. And just says fucking, I forget, Dracarys. And then, the guy's on fire, he's running away. And then all the Unsullied are taking out guys, right? And then you just see behind Dany, fire, boom, 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 fire. And it's like,
awesome scene.
The first cunning move, really cunning move she's done.
This was a really good scene for Daenerys, because we've seen her go from essentially a piece of meat she was sold, to... kind of a budding princess, Khaleesi.
Yeah.
To a leader of nothing.
Yeah.
Like, she was all sound and fury, signifying nothing. I am the Queen of Dragons. I have 15 dying Dothraki and one guy. That's, I'm in control of all that. But she had real nothing. She had no power. She had the dragons.
Yeah, but they weren't big enough to do anything.
They were like potential power.
Yeah.
It's like having a nuke or like a missile with no nuclear tip.
Mm-hmm.
So, at this point, she uses a plan she lied about well, she didn't lie. She gave him the dragon to him.
Yeah, for a moment, brief moment. Yeah.
But she has a plan. She doesn't even let her two older male advisors talk.
Yeah.
They don't even have a line this show.
No, a lot of looks, a lot of great looks, a lot of fucking great looks.
A lot more acting without talking.
Yeah, there was a great scene. There was a great part, as they mentioned in the last episode. They're like, Selmy was talking about, oh, you gotta have guys who are fighting behind you, believe in your cause, and then Mormont was talking about, like, you need guys. These guys, they won't rape.
You need trained soldiers. Right.
Yeah,
they're gonna do the thing. They're not gonna do the things you dislike.
Yeah. And so they both kind of looked at each other like, man, we both got what we wanted with these guys.
Yeah.
Because the Unsullied at the end of the episode,
Danny frees them.
Danny tells them they're freed.
Yep.
You can do what you want, and she won't kill you if you leave. And she's like, you're gonna fight with me,
or
free men.
You can come fight with me. Yeah.
And then one guy goes boom, like the slow clapping guy.
Yes, slow clap. They slow clap with their staffs. Nice job.
And then they just keep banging the thing, and then they're like,
and they march out of Astapor
and fire and the three dragons in the sky.
Great scene to close
fucking amazing scene. And that's how the episode ends. Really, really great episode.
One of the best scenes in the whole series too.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of fire, dragons, and you just see all these guys that she's got, and you're like, finally, she's got an army. Now she's a force.
She's something to be reckoned with.
Yeah. So, Rob, likes or dislikes about the episode?
Like pretty much everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, the only thing I disliked, we talked about it during the scene, is the you don't really know who Boy is yet.
Yeah.
That's a little ambiguous. Like, why did he just leave out of the circle? I mean, you can pose
you can tell that he's a real bastard.
Kinda, yeah. He's a bit of a piece of shit.
Yeah. He's a real son of a bitch. The only thing I didn't like about the episode, I loved it. There was just one tiny thing I didn't like. I kind of wish, like, you saw Mormont, right? I kind of wish he took down a guy or something.
Okay, yeah.
And I kind of wish he had, like, a little, like, just something, a line, like...
Or maybe, like, a dying line.
Yeah, just, like, a dying line, like, I'm sorry, or get back to the wall, like, if Sam was there and then Sam ran away. But that's tiny.
That's nitpicky.
Whatever.
We're being nitpicky.
Yeah, but whatever. I mean, it was all great. Yeah. It's kind of sad to see Commander Mormont go.
It is. He's a good character.
Yeah, but what are you going to do? So, new characters, Beric Dondarrion, there's really no likes or dislikes about him because we haven't seen too much of him.
He's kind of Robin Hood-y, so however you feel about Robin Hood, you'll probably feel about him.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, people don't bitch about, like, he looks a lot different than he looks from when we saw him momentarily in the first season. But then again, he's been in the war, he's been fucked up.
And if you care, go fuck yourself.
Yeah. Just like some people are like, why didn't you just keep the same actor? It's like, because that guy.
Because they hired a guy for one line to say, "I sir."
Yeah, exactly.
Then they come out and find a real actor.
So is is the episode staying true to the book? I would say yes. Again,
when you're converting a tome of this size to a visual spectrum like television.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you get the broad strokes right, I don't care if you color outside the lines a little bit.
Yeah. You know what the thing is, too? The book is so amazing in the fact that, like, there's so much material that you can use. It's not like they have to make up too much stuff for the episode, so it's like, bam, you know, there's not a lot of straying from the book too much.
No, it's cutting... Really, it's all about...
It's trimming the fat off the book.
Yes, exactly.
And making it an hour. Almost an hour,
yeah.
But I'd have to say it's staying pretty true. If people have anything, just put it in the comment section.
Somebody's always going to bitch because people love to bitch. And nerds love to bitch. Admitted nerds, you guys love to bitch. I'm a nerd. I like to bitch. Don't.
Yeah, I don't like to bitch too much. Sometimes I do, but only if it really pisses me off. And a lot of stuff doesn't piss me off.
No. If Jon Snow was a 7-foot woman, I'd be like, that's weird.
Yeah, Jon Snow is supposed to be a boy, I thought.
But
whatever, I mean, if you got to change it, you got to get more women in there.
As long as you get most of the sexes right, I'm okay. I don't care if somebody's taller or blacker or fatter. Or
a different color.
As long as it has nothing to do with it, like Sam has to be fat.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
And, you know, they got a perfect guy for him because he's fucking cowardly and all that good stuff. So, best line, best kill.
I think my favorite line is Varys talking about Littlefinger.
Mm-hmm.
When he's talking with the Queen of Thorns about Littlefinger's ambitions, and he says Littlefinger, even though he likes Littlefinger will watch the country burn just to be king of the ashes.
Yeah, that's a great line.
It's a good line.
It's like Littlefinger doesn't even give a shit about people. And the fact that like he just wants to be king, and it's like
he wants power.
Weird. Yeah, and he mentions how he's the most dangerous man in Westeros. So maybe we should watch out for that.
Yeah.
I think my favorite line is with Theon.
Okay.
You know, while he's in the castle wherever they're at, and he's just sitting there talking with the boy
during his little monologue.
With his regret, and he says, "My real father lost his head at King's Landing. I made a choice, and I chose wrong.
Yeah.
Now I burned everything down." And just like, oh man, I just want to give you a hug, Theon. You're just a fuck up. You made a couple bad mistakes.
We've all fucked up.
Yeah.
For a 20-year-old kid, fuck up. That's not a shot. Come on.
Yeah.
You fucked up.
So, is that it? Best deaths.
What's your favorite death?
I'd have to go with. It's not my favorite, but just because he's so high profile, Commander Mormont. I mean, because he gets stabbed in the back, right? And if you get stabbed in the back and it hits a nerve, that's it. You're fucking paralyzed. But this guy stands up, grabs the guy,
has a little bit of
swallows the sun with his look, like you said. I love that line. And just fucking like, I will end you right now. Yeah. And then just blood.
It just doesn't have enough left.
Yeah, it's just like boom, that like emptied his tank. You know what I mean? So who's your?
I'm gonna go with the slave trader, Krasny.
Yeah, that was a good.
Because that was just good.
It was that he did not expect that at all.
No, I was actually hearing about somebody. I read something about the episode how they actually did that with a real flamethrower on a pole with a stuntman.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why it looks good, because it's mostly real fire.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of like add a little FX to dragon fire it up.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously the dragon takes the place of the flamethrower on a pole.
Yeah.
But I thought that was a neat way.
Yeah,
to show
I'm trying to keep it almost as real as possible.
Yeah.
That was
fucking cool.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, there are no real dragons. Yeah, right. So.
And another high-profile death was Craster. I mean, getting stabbed right in the gullet.
A good death too. Yeah. A nice death.
Something that he deserved. I'm sure a lot of people didn't really care for him at that point. And they're like, thank God.
I'm sure a few other Night's Watch probably end up getting killed.
Yeah.
We'll learn. You know. Hopefully, it was somebody with a name like Ed or Gren. We would see it.
Yeah.
But I'm sure a couple of those guys are going to end up being killed.
Get out of there.
Yeah.
So we hope you enjoyed this review of Game of Thrones.
I hope you enjoyed it.
Why?
I hope you watched it.
Yeah.
I can really care less if you enjoyed it.
You know what? If you didn't enjoy it, tell us why. And maybe we can make it better. Who knows? So this has been Beat Your Country 1913.
This has been Daddy.
And we will see you in the next Game of Thrones review.
Probably about next week.